All right, hello, welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. The Arsenal have embarrassed themselves once again. It was a tinker, it was a change, it was a new formation, and they looked like they didn't really have any idea what was going on, and subsequently made the game the next day not mean a thing. Pretty mad about it, pretty sad about it. And if you're like me, go ahead and get the likes up on the video, subscribe to the channel. If not for any other reason, but for sympathy and pity, and go ahead and get the notification bell on. We'll be back real soon, of course. Yeah, this one, not much to say about this because we didn't really do much. Um, Arteta tries a new formation. Three at the back, Thomas Partey kind of in a quasi fourth right back midfield role. And we just constantly tried to play the ball down the right hand side through Partey over and over and over and over and over and over again.
It's the old it looked like one of the old school FIFA tactics that we use where you just eventually the man's gonna get ran down. Eventually his stamina is gonna give out and you're gonna get one through. Like it just looked like you were trying to beat the wall. Like you're just trying to
I
beat that
guess.
block just go back to it, go back to it, go back to it.
But
You're
there was
right.
so much side to side. They didn't want to. There was no passing in between the lines. There was so much side to side. Um, Forrest parked the bus really hard and had that low block and um, like Xhaka and Trossard were not even in the game because the ball never went to the left hand side of the field. It's the literal definition of insanity, of stupidity.
Of trying something over and over again. Or trying the
We
same thing with expecting different results.
we tried it. We tried it 15 times in the first half, and it was ineffective, completely ineffective, completely. And then we went in, had a good good halftime talk, changed up the tactics, switched it up, and everything went well in the set. Yeah, no, we came out, didn't change personnel, didn't do anything, did the exact same thing in the second half. Yeah, I'm real disappointed with Arteta on this one, to be honest with you. Um, for me, it just highlights the difference in mentality between City and Arsenal. Because as much as Arteta came out and said before the Brighton game that the title's still on, there's still a chance, still outside hope or whatever. We didn't play like it. Not in the Brighton game, not in the Wolves game or Forest game rather.
I
I don't
think
know
that's
if
the
I don't know if that's on him or if he got up for it and did his thing and gave the win one for the Gipper and it just flew past him in one ear and out the other. I don't know, but for
it's
me, changing the formation, changing the tactic to something we have not done all season long in this game, for me, it just shows once, and I've said this about Arteta before, we just didn't take it seriously. We didn't take it seriously. We knew the league was gone. That's what it looked like against Brighton. The guys knew the league was gone,
yeah.
and so the mentality wasn't there, uh, and we got wrecked. And so versus Forest, they did exactly what they wanted to. Sat back, got a counterattacking goal, and then restricted space for the rest of the game. Easy as you like. Easy. Easy as you like. Because Arsenal decided that we weren't going to be Arsenal. Arteta decided, hey, Let's try to be Pep. Let's try to tinker like Pep does. Because I worked with Pep and Arsenal has the same squad as it. No. No. You can't you can't do that when we don't when the personnel's different, when the experience level is so much different. Pep's able to tinker because they know all of his tinkerings already because they've worked on them in years previous.
They played that system before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arteta's had a week to get to throw us some new formation, and we beat Forest 5-0 at home
City
earlier in
ground,
the
though.
season.
City ground.
I think
Come on.
it was just I think it was a showing of, and I would hate to put this on you guys because of the season you've had. It was the showing of disheartenment, like being disheartened and having to go play, knowing like I think you kind of got it right on the second thing. I think they knew the league had slipped away, so it's like they're shell shocked about it. And that's what this game looked like. They were just shell shocked about it. Like, man, I think that the players are proud of themselves, and every Arsenal fan should be proud of where the club is. But you know how big of a letdown and that hurt that happens when you're like, nah, we like when you start really buying into that we got a shot and we have to play like we have a shot, and then you go up in a big game and you lose a playoff or you lose a semifinal or you lose, and it's just like it just stings a little bit, and it's hard to carry on to your next games because they don't have as much meaning, quote unquote, to them. And that's what the boys looked like. I think, regardless if Arteta did his job or not, every one of them, the heart, it looked like you didn't have a heart. And that's just like you said, it was an Arsenal season. That hasn't been anything about the way this Arsenal team plays.
Here's why I'm confused. I watched Arteta do his press conference and said it's still hope. Because there was still hope. I mean, if we're being honest, if they win, put pressure on City to have to win against Chelsea.
You were always
And-
going to beat us. That shows how much faith they had in Chelsea not bottling that game.
But even then, I hear you, but as a manager, you can't say that and then put a team out and then play a tactic you've never done, because that sounds contradictory.
Yeah.
What could have happened to show there's still hope is you say, hey, there's still a chance. It's small, but it's still a chance. And then you put the best team out that was winning for you. You go get that same lineup that was running over people because the tape is there. You show the tape and say, hey, remember how we did this? We're going to put these people here. Hey, man, Partey, you're the best guy in the world. They say that other guy in Manchester is, but you are. Team of the season guy, Odegaard. You are on the level with and I would say all of that and then play. And like, look, you're in Nottingham Forest. They don't want to get relegated or whatever their situation is. They're going to play hard.
You're
You're going
coming
to
to play
show
the
them
heart.
no matter how hard they play against you, we are Arsenal. Period. And you put the same thing you put out there, because the second you tinker, you're saying you don't have confidence in what you've been doing. Well, what you're doing has you solid in second. And I'm not saying that the goal was second, but I mean, there's a time where you drink the Kool-Aid, and when you drink too much Kool-Aid, it's on your face. And the Kool-Aid was on their face then, because they didn't accept that, hey man, we overachieved. We achieved our goal. We've gone beyond it. Let's make sure we show them that we didn't, that this was a fluke, that we belong in second. Because you hear the commentary, and while they may not necessarily want to pay attention to social media, it has teeth, and they say some mean stuff. And the fact that you got Liverpool fans, and Liverpool has had a mediocre season to their standards, they're like, Arsenal was never a real challenge. We're the only team that could challenge them. I would be mad at that. I would be absolutely livid that this team that's below us has the nerve to talk trash to us after what we've done this year. So changing the team makes no sense to me. And I was confused because I was like, okay, they're coming out and they're going to win. And then it'll make City motivated to have to go win. And then they didn't. And I was like, what the man? That's what I was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So I want to say,
a lot.
I want to say one thing. I know it didn't have to really directly pertain to this game, but the mentality that Arsenal kind of carried in the back of this. In hindsight, it's 2020, but losing Saliba, man, like
Yeah, brutal.
it's a tale. It's two different defensive teams that you get to
Brutal.
play, and it's brutal. And I feel like it's cost. I don't want to say better teams closer championships, but it's cost teams in the past, by margins of that one guy going down and there isn't a replacement for him because, he's solid. It's like Conte with us. Once you lose the glue in the line or in any one of your three, like Gabriel, like you didn't have Jesus either. Like you didn't have your supposed glue up front for the majority of this season, and you still came in this. You lost your main center back, and you still commanding, as Lewis said in second. So like those achievements, like I think if you would have had both healthy all season, it's going down to Sunday. But we're not in that, universe or whatever you want to call it. I would like to point out the fact that you lost two main pieces of two of your lines and still command a second place is, those boys stay healthy, it's going to be dangerous. And it's going to be like he was saying about Liverpool. Like, hey, we're here to compete. Let's not show them it's a fluke, which then reflects directly to Arteta in this game and what you're talking about too, because it didn't look like he wanted to. But like I said, I want to credit, giving the boys the benefit of the doubt. It's hard. I get it, man. The mentality is just you're out of air. You don't have, unless you're mad playing mad. But then when you play mad, you're easy to beat. And Nottingham Forest were playing like they wanted it and played with heart.
Yeah, I think it comes down to an underlying philosophy that is what separates City from the rest of this league. And it's the fact that no matter what the situation is, no matter what the competition you're in, no matter if the game matters statistically or towards the league or towards whatever, you can tell that Pep wants to win.
Yep, serial
He,
winner.
he
Right.
does not care. It could be the Ilkay Gundogan Invitational Celebrational game July 2nd. Pep
He
wants to
wants to still play.
smash you. He wants to win the game 5-0 every single game. Does not matter what it is. And that's why they're champions. That's why at the very tippy top pinnacle of this game, they are the best of the best. And Arsenal, if there's anything Arsenal learned from this season, if there's anything at all that we learned from this season, it has to be that. And I'm talking about not just Pep wants to win the game every time they go out, but it's in your day to day. It's in the day to day
Right.
players as well. You think Erling Haaland eats potato chips? You think Pep lets his players drop any discipline ever? When's the last time Kevin De Bruyne ate a cheeseburger? Like he ain't Eden Hazard. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying, like to be that good for
Yeah.
that long, it requires that I'm looking for an edge every second
Yep.
of every day of my life.
In
That's the
every minute of my
winning
game.
mentality.
Right.
And it's not, and yeah, we don't let up this mentality at the dinner table. We don't let up this mentality when we go for a run. When they're running after practice, you don't not give your life to get to that line every single day in practice. And it translates to the field. And you can see it in the fact that, okay, yes, you could say that Foden and the boys are trying to play for minutes, trying to play for their spot or whatever.
Showcasing. Yeah.
But it's the 94th minute. You're up 3-0, and City are still trying to maim you. They're still trying to embarrass you up 7-0 in the 94th minute. And you see that every time. Every game.
Well, I mean, we
That's what
talked
I
about it.
hope
Yeah.
Arsenal learn. That's what I hope Arsenal learn from this season and from the title challenge that we put on and got wrecked in.